All right, let's set up the ad account. So when you log in, you're going to see something like this. You might see an auto-generated PMAX campaign here that was from Merchant Center. Just go ahead and pause that. Don't set that up if you see that, and then we're going to go ahead and click right here and do a new campaign. If you see this little pop-up box, just hide it. It's fine. That's just going to give you, you have to add your, also before you do this, you have to add a card, and it's going to authorize that card for $50, but it's not going to charge you, but you do have to have a card in order to even go to this step. So when you're in the Merchant Center, it's going to prompt you to go into the ad account, which is here. You can also see the URLs ads.google.com. And then once you log in with your email, and then you'll have and you add your payment method. Just authorizes it for $50, doesn't charge it. Then you'll be able to access the dashboard. They just updated the appearance, so I'm going to be using the new appearance. Historically they're getting rid of the old one, I think in like 3 days or so. I'm using the new one here so everyone gets an understanding for it. It should look like this. You can go ahead and do this one here, no guidance. We'll go to shopping. Now, the Merchant Center, if you're still getting approval, you're waiting for stuff to go through, it's fine because it'll still be right here. And then this is the part, you want to hit standard shopping campaign. You see about Performance Max, they're really pushing it. You see, they really just try to get you to do here because most people, I'm not really sure why. I think it's because they just want to have you have full control, I think. We're trying to keep control of our spend with having this campaign structure. So I'm going to explain the structure in a moment. So I'm going to call this one high priority. I'm doing this live, so I'm just double checking anything, make sure I can get comprehensive answers here. Manual CPC is correct. You could start wherever you want. I would start, it depends on your budget. I'm just going to put a placeholder here because I'm going to come back and edit this later. But typically somewhere between $20 to $25 a day is good. Even $5 to $10 a day is fine because we're going to have at the end about 5 campaigns 3 shopping campaigns and 1 text ad. So you could do 5 per campaign or 10 per campaign, a total of $30 a day. But again, we're going to put limits in place. So for now, just leave that there. We're going to do something called a shared budget later anyway. So I call this one high priority, and you see campaign priority. I'm going to go ahead and change that to high. So what does this mean, high, medium, low priority? This means that when we have 3 campaigns, I'll get into this a little bit later with an image expressing it. For now, just go ahead and select high. I would uncheck this. United States, start date, ad group. This would be your manufacturer's name. I'm just going to put Costway, that's the manufacturer that we have on the site currently. And for a CPC bid, I would put 8 cents. And we're going to create this campaign. Okay, then we're going to take this one. See, now notice here, so a little bit about campaign structure. So we have 3 levels. So the highest level is just going to be the account overview. That's just stuff on the account. Then when we get into campaigns, the next level is going to be campaigns. These are actual campaigns that we have running or different shopping campaigns, right? I don't know how to define that word other than use the word, the definition. And then ad groups is where we separate our campaigns into ad groups. Now so if I go to campaigns here, we're going to see high priority, that's the campaign, and I click in, and then we go down. Then we go down to the ad group. Then I can go even farther, and then this is going to be the product group. So let's see if this is going to work. So I'm going to type in item ID, and I'm going to type in Costway. Perfect. So these are all, and then sometimes I have to go down to get some more. There we go. I'm going to put all of these at 8 cents. You see, because I set the whole ad group at 8 cents, they're all going to be 8 cents. These are all the products I just added. Hit save. Now, bam. So now again, we have our campaigns. Let me show you again. Our campaign level high priority. Go down to Costway, it's our ad group level. Click down, now we're at the product level. Now something else we have to do, we're going to go down here. There's going to be everything else. We want to make sure we pause that or exclude it. Bam. Now, what I can do effectively is I can set, it's not, the merchant center is still getting approved. So this one here, I can set the bid. When I do this later, it'll show that product. If I click one, it'll show the product, or even now probably. But you can set the bid for each product. That's the key thing. So I could say, oh, I want to pay 8 cents a click for this product, or I want to pay 12 cents a click for this product, and you can change each individual product and promote it based on how much you think it's worth to spend. Very, very critical. So I'm going to explain more in detail in a second. I just want to show you what the major benefit of this structure and what it allows you to do rather than using like Performance Max, for example. Now, so we're going to go back to our campaign level. Now is where things get interesting. So we have, there's a few ways you could do this. I'm going to show you the longer way. So technically you could just like copy this and, cut it, and you can make 2 more campaigns. But it takes like a minute to do anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it manually. But if you wanted to be quick about it, you could do it. But what I would do is I would go here. Let me show you, and then I'll explain what we're doing. Same thing, we're going to go through the same process, shopping. All the same, standard shopping, continue. We're going to call this medium priority. Okay, manual CPC, good, 5 the same. We're going to go medium priority here, take this off, United States. I'm going to call this the same, Costway. And I'm going to put this one, now there's a difference here. This one I'm going to put at 14 cents. And create campaign. Okay, now we're in the ad group level. We're going to do the same thing here. Item ID, the brand name. Now if you have multiple brands, you would just type in each individual brand, but you wouldn't do it this way. I'll show you that in a minute. Save. You'll notice that all they're at 14 now. Okay, so now we have the ad groups and down to the individual product level in the medium priority campaign. Now we have one more to make here. So we're going to go back to campaigns. You'll notice we have a high and a medium priority now. So same thing, shopping, same thing, standard, continue. Then we have low priority. Manual the same, $5 budget, low, unclick this, US. This one, same brand name. And this one, we're going to be at 18 cents. Same thing here. Item ID, Costway. And scroll down, make sure we get all the products. You might only have 5 here, 10 here. Every manufacturer is different, but this is determined by manufacturer. That's why I type in the manufacturer's name and it gives me all those products. So I had to do one step that I missed. I'm going to go back and do it, but we want to exclude this one here. So I'm going to go back to campaigns. I'm going to go back to medium. Maybe here. There we go. Yeah, okay, cool. So we have high, medium, and low priority now. Okay? So I'm going to go back into medium priority, and I'm just going to do that one thing I just did. Exclude the ones here. All right, there we go. Now, let's explain a little bit about what this means and why this is important. So we have 3 campaigns, and they're all submitting the same products. Now, why would we do that? What we're doing is we're taking advantage of something called the reverse funnel. So our high priority campaign, this is going to be what Google shows to customers first. So it's set as a highest priority. This, if there is something on our negative keyword list, which I'll explain in a moment, if we have something on our negative keyword list, then Google will display that in the medium priority instead of the high priority. Then, if we have something in our, again, negative keyword list, then it will push that all the way down into the low priority campaign. Now, let me say that one more time. Google will show this first with the highest priority. We use a negative keyword list, aka negative keywords, in order to push that traffic down to the medium priority campaign. Now, if that medium priority campaign also has negative keywords or a negative keyword list, which is blocking those keywords or those searches, then it will be pushed down to the low priority campaign. Now, why is this important? High priority is going to be where we target traffic that is generic. People going after golf club. This is people just going after the general broad term. This is going to be all optimized and targeted for people, and also the spend. We're only going to spend 8 cents per click in our high priority campaign. Now, we're going to raise that bid over time to find the sweet spot. Most courses, trainers, etc. will set these bids somewhere upwards of $1. What I found is to get the best results immediately is to start small. Google will still give you quality traffic, it will just give you less of it based on your spend or your bid. So you start with a small bid and then raise it up over time, which will allow you to maintain very low CPAs, aka cost per acquisition, and also have just general reasonable sales volume. It's the best way to get started. If you're already jamming, you want to scale up, then set the bids higher. But recognize that as we gain traffic, then we have to balance that with negative keywords. So negative keywords are keywords that we put that are negative in order to block out certain keywords or certain searches. For example, in our, let's say, if someone searches for Goldaholics 942, if they search for this brand, or if they search for this brand and the SKU, but let's just start with brand, then we want them to show in our medium priority campaign. Our medium priority campaign is going to focus on the brand, right? So if that first campaign, high priority, if we have the brand, so for example, Costway as a negative, then all searches related to Costway would be pushed down into the medium priority, aka branded searches. So we can effectively segment our traffic. 1, high priority, going after generic search terms. 2, medium priority, going after branded search terms, meaning branded, the name brand of products. And low priority, going after people who have the brand and the SKU. So the SKU is the product. So going after one particular product, aka people down here at the bottom of the funnel. Now what this allows us to do effectively is say, hey, if someone is searching for golf clubs in general, let me pay only 8 cents for that click. That one is a very general search. It's worth less to me. I should pay less for it. Secondly, now if someone is searching for that brand, for that specific brand product, I can now effectively say, okay, well, I want to pay 14 cents for that search, because that search is more targeted. That individual is farther down in the funnel, they're higher quality. Let me pay additional 6 cents or additional money based on the quality of the lead, right? So we're talking about high priority being generic, medium priority being branded, and low priority is where I'm searching for the brand and the SKU or the model. So that would be, okay, golf club, whatever the brand is, X34, then in that case, that's the highest quality or highest converting lead, because they're really looking for that exact product. I like to pay more for that lead, right? Because they're highly targeted. So with having 3 separate campaigns split out amongst the manufacturers, I can, number one, segment the traffic out based on based on their how they came to me. I can determine whether or not they're quality or what quality they are, and then pay that much per click. So CPC, cost per click. I can determine how much I will spend per click for each customer to visit my site. I would keep these clicks low in the beginning, and generally as we scale up, we're going to raise the clicks, raise the bids. In the beginning, I like to have high priority, somewhere around 8 to 12 cents, depending on your budget. I like to have medium priority, somewhere between 14 to 18 cents, depending on your budget, and low priority, somewhere between 18 cents to 24 cents, upward maybe of 29 cents, depending on your budget. This is how I would segment it out in the beginning, and then slowly bring all those numbers up over time as you scale them up. Now you have to combine these with negative keyword lists. Okay, so how do we get a negative keyword list? How do we set that up? I'm going to go ahead and get into that right now. Just one moment. All right, so what you do is you go under Tools, then you go under Shared Library, then Exclusion Lists, and Negative Keyword List. I just had to find it with the new interface. They moved stuff all around. So we're going to go ahead and do high priority. So this is going to be the negative keyword list associated with our high priority campaign. I don't have any keywords to put in there right now. I'm just going to use a common one, used. We don't sell any used products. I think they require you to have a word here, so I'm just going to put one that would be removed. High priority, we got one keyword on the list. Okay? Now, you know what? I could even better yet, I could have a real one. Hold on. Used would be good, but you should have manufacturers at this point. So I'll just do Costway. That's the name of the manufacturer. So if they search the name of the manufacturer, I want that search to go down to my medium priority campaign. I'm adding this as a broad match. We'll get into what that means later. Now we're going to create our medium priority list. Medium priority. And let's see if, we'll have to add a keyword. So in this case, I want the brand name to come down. So in this case, I'll use the word used. Just putting a place marker here. And the next one, we're going to create one for the low priority. And I'll just use that same word. I just want the list to be created because later I'm going to have to add keywords to it, negative keywords to them. So I just want to make sure that they're there. And then I would even do another one which would be like all negative. I'll just put that here for now. But this would be things that later we want to remove like completely, just like used, for example, something which is completely irrelevant. So we would put that here. Oh, I almost skipped one part. We want to apply to campaigns. And then let me just double check. So high priority campaign is going to go to the high priority campaign. So we're in the negative keyword list that we called high priority, and we're going to go ahead and apply that to the high priority campaign. Skipped a step there. So medium priority, I'll do it again. So medium priority, click here, apply to campaigns, medium priority, and done. And same thing to low priority. Here, low priority. Oh, there it is. Low priority. Got it. And then all negative. We're going to go here and click everything. And this is stuff that, so effectively, by applying this negative keyword list to all, what we're doing is we're blocking those keywords from our entire ad account. So something like used. If we don't sell used goods, all of our stuff is new, then we don't want to show up in the searches for those terms. Let me highlight shopping campaigns versus text ads, just in case you're unaware of the difference in the two. When I'm running shopping campaigns, I'm giving Google Shopify is getting all my data from Shopify, being sent over to the Merchant Center. The Merchant Center is then providing all this data to Google Ads. So within Google Ads is where all my is the shopping campaigns. Now within each shopping campaign has all the product data, pricing, discount, images, etc. Now all that gets sent to Google, and then they display it where they optimize for, based on the searches. So we're not using any, in this case for our shopping, we're not using any search terms, right? We're not displaying, I want to bid on this keyword or these creatives. The product data is the creative, and the keywords are determined by search as far as Google, what they display in the search under the shopping tab. So for that reason, we might get listed for things which we don't want to get listed for. This is what we're able to do on the back end by saying, hey, don't show us for things like used, for example. Or if we're in the high priority campaign, we put things like, hey, we don't want our manufacturer names or model numbers to be in our high priority campaign, because we want to go after generic traffic. So we're going to block off those keywords to push them down to our medium priority campaign. So in our medium priority campaign, we'll target branded search terms, and then we want to block off our product level stuff in the branded so that it gets pushed down to low priority, which is going to be even the model level. So in that case, we want to focus on the brand, aka manufacturer, and the SKU, or the model itself, in our low priority campaign. I just want to repeat that 2 or 3 times to make sure it's kind of a new concept to adjust to. So sometimes if you can hear it 2 or 3 times, it starts to kind of all come together. So let's go back to our campaigns. So this is going to be your account overview. So if I go here, then I can go here, then I can see all my campaigns, and then here I can select, really they pushed this PMAX. So I'm getting away from that one. And we'll see here that we have our high, medium, and low priority campaigns. Okay, so our high priority, this is going to be where generic traffic comes in. Just say it one more time. This is our high priority. This is where you're going to start seeing generic traffic come into here. Medium priority and low priority. So what you need to do is, for those negative keyword lists that we just talked about, again, tools, exclusion lists, and then negative keywords, what you need to do is go through and add in all of your SKUs. So you collect all of your SKUs that you have, and then you go here, and you want to block out your SKUs on your high priority list and on your medium priority list. Therefore, the SKUs will all be pushed down into low priority. So you should, if you've added products already, so you definitely know what the SKU is. So you put the SKUs in the negative keyword list, and that will push stuff down to low priority. You put it in your high and your medium. All of your branded words. So your brand names, for example, in this example, it's Costway. You will have multiple brands and multiple manufacturers. So you will put those all within your high priority campaign in order to push those down to the medium, push that traffic down to the medium priority campaign. So I'm saying this in many, many different ways, so it'll catch, because you might have to hear it a few different ways. So that's what you want to do. So you want to get that's how you want to drop it down. Now, while you're setting up, this is just setting up the funnels. While you're setting these funnels up, that negative keyword list is also extremely important with setting up in the way I just explained, because that is what is going to be the mechanics behind the funnel itself, right? Because if we don't set this up, then Google will just push everything to the high priority campaign, right? But then we have to cut out what we don't want, the branded searches and the SKU level searches, so those searches get sent to our medium priority. And so we add those searches to the negative keyword list for the high priority campaign. After that, then we go down to the medium priority campaign, and then on that negative keyword list, we block out all the SKUs, because we want the branded searches in medium, but we don't want the SKU level or model level. Therefore, those searches, we block all the SKUs out in the medium priority campaign, and so therefore those searches get pushed down to our low priority campaign with the branded and SKU level searches. And we pay for each different tier. So this tier level pricing, along with setting the actual bid on the product level, as I was showing earlier, allows us to fully be in control of what we spend, where we're spending it, how much we're spending, and just the overall process that the customer goes through and where we're allocating our budget. You know, it puts us back in control and in the driver's seat of managing our ad account. So I'm going to go over and highlight a few other important details. Set up your negative keyword lists. This is critical. And get the campaigns rolling in this sort of strategy, as I mentioned. This is the cheapest and fastest way. You should be able to set this up maybe in an hour, hour and a half, depending on how many manufacturers you have. Another thing you want to do is you're going to want to go into the overview here and exclude Hawaii and Alaska. You know, depending on the niche you're in, you know, if your products are quite heavy, if the shipping is quite large, it can at sometimes, you know, be uneconomical or not profitable to ship to even Alaska or Hawaii. So a lot of times we'll ship only to the continental U.S., even excluding like Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, stuff like that. So double check. But if you're in a niche where it's easy to ship, then, you know, maybe it makes sense. I've seen business models where they incorporate it and it makes sense, but typically in my niche and the most 90% of the ones I work with, we exclude Hawaii and Alaska because the shipping cost and you know, some customers are willing to pay it. What I do is I have them email me for an order directly, and then, you know, because sometimes it'll be double the price of the item to send it to Hawaii, for example. You know, something costs $4,000, it might be $8,000 to get it to them. You know, so like $8,000 in total. So it'd be $4,000 for the item and $4,000 for shipping. So just keep this in mind. That's a real thing. So you may want to exclude Hawaii and Alaska, but depending on your shipping, what your shipping is like for your products. Some manufacturers ship to Hawaii and Alaska for free, you know, because it's, you know, not huge products. So just research that on your own and determine that. Another thing we're going to want to do is set up what I call a branded campaign, so like a search text ad campaign. We're just going to highlight your brand. So let me see how we would set this up in here. Give me a second. I'm still getting used to the new interface, so bear with me for a moment. Here, so you know, campaigns, all campaigns, and we're going to new one more campaign. And this is going to be without guidance, and we're going to get a search ad. I believe, let me check, display, shopping, yeah, search ad, purchase. We're going to call this terminal for sale branded. Let's use yeah, I mean, I call it branded, but you can call it whatever you want. Enhanced conversions, check yes. We're going to focus on conversions. No, none of this. United States, English, audiences, we'll leave that blank for now. We're not doing that. We'll use that for retargeting. Broad match keywords off. I'll describe the difference of the keywords in a minute. I'm going to check the rest of the settings. Yeah, good. Hold on. I'm going to skip that. You could do this, I guess. But I just want to get here. So all we're going to do They're always changing their features. You can put your information there if you want to, leave the guides and stuff. So you're gonna put the website here, I suppose. They might ask, they might make you do it. But we're not looking for keywords, and we're not going after keywords. All we're doing is we're going after our business name. So I'll do this just for fun, just to see what happens. So it's showing, some things that it recommends, which are pretty relevant. But what I want here is we're going to go after just our website. No, what is it? Okay. You might have to put like HTTPS there or something in the beginning for it to be approved. I don't know. You can work through that. So, you just put the www. Anyway, what we're going after in here is we're going to put headlines and CPAs and calls to action about our products. So order $500 and get free shipping, or get free shipping now, or all orders include free shipping and insurance, or check out our About Us, or check out this section about our products, or check out our new products, but you want to put all the different options, and you want to mention your brand name 3 or 4 times. So all of our stuff's available at besttreadmillforsale.com, or check out just different headlines about that. Description should be about us, or it should be some of your promotional material, like offers. So for example, in this one, I'll put the brand name, I'll put all offers over $500 receive this. It's going to be your call to action. So this is, you want to put multiple descriptions. So you want to do 5 different variations. Look, use ChatGPT if you want. I think it's very valuable, but just make sure it's relevant. It's after your brand name. ChatGPT could literally do this in a minute, but still make sure it also sounds like a human. Proofread them. Don't just upload them. Make sure it makes sense. You're spending real money for people to view this, so make sure it makes sense. It's good. Add your logos, site links. Do this as well. These are just little things you add in, and once you do it once, don't do it again. Call outs, add this as well. Fill out literally everything you can. Asset types, add promotions, prices, add your phone number, structure snippets, add a lead form, add everything. Fill all of this out. What we're looking for here is not really to be the best or the most convincing or the most influencing with our ads. What we're really looking to do is to take up the most screen real estate. This is the key thing, is that all of these things allow us to get more real estate on page and have more ways of getting that information out to prospects. So really utilize every free function, every free feature, because Google also gives you this something called ad strength as you fill this out. And as you have all these things completed, you get what's called a green or complete verification. And this kind of optimizes on Google's side, this is what we call a green checked ad. So it'll push it out more. The most important part here that I'm going to highlight is actually not in the ad. It's going to be in this section, in the keywords that we want to put in here. So in this section, I'm only going after my brand name. So it's Best Treadmill for Sale, or Best Treadmill for Sale, or www.besttreadmillforsale.com. I even throw in Best Treadmill for Sale reviews. Okay, so this is what I would do. So now let me distinguish the difference of what those quotes are about. So they're going to continually try to get you to spend more money because they don't know that you're using a system and a structure. What they're trying to do here is to get me set these to broad match so that I can spend more money, but this ad is not targeted at the broad audience. It's targeted at people who are searching for my brand. So just give you some perspective there. Google will always prompt you for these things. They'll always try to connect you on calls, and they'll always try to get you to do things. I don't recommend any of their systems or structures. Many of them, if not all of them, are just set to have you spend more and have them have more control. I actually know people who've worked at Google who've done this exact position and this is what their focus is. So don't do that. Just follow the structure here. Let me explain what this is. We're setting up a branded campaign. So we have 3 different ways of going after keywords. So we have what's called, I'm just going to type it here as an example because I'm here. We have broad match keywords. This would be just the keyword, let's say treadmill. That's broad match, meaning that if I type the word treadmill, then that is going to, let me just do it for real. So it would look like this. Treadmill. That's if I was going after broad match, meaning that if anyone typed in the word treadmill, whether it's in the first place in the sentence, last place in the sentence, just the word treadmill, no matter where it is, it's going to show up. Even if it's like tread space mill, it'll still show up, right? That's broad match. No matter how it's used, that's how it's going to show up. This, by the way, this applies to negative keywords and normal keywords, so you should really understand this. So treadmill as broad match is just the word. If I want to make it what's called phrase match, I put it in quotes. If I want to make it what's called exact match, I put it in brackets. Okay, let me say that again. If I want to make it phrase match, I put it in quotes. If I want to put it in exact match, I put it in brackets. What does that mean? If I type in, quote, treadmill for sale, end quote, then any phrase, any sentence which has that phrase in it will trigger a result. So I could say, where can I find the best treadmill for sale? Phrase match, treadmill for sale, boom, it's going to show up, right? I could say, treadmill for sale is really something I'm looking for right now. Boom. It's in that sentence. Or I could just type in treadmill for sale. It's still there. That's going to trigger it because it's a phrase match. Now, if I do exact match, treadmill for sale, that is only going to show up for that exact search term. So if someone types in exactly treadmill for sale, then it's going to trigger my search. These are tools we have to use as we organize our keywords. You have to be clear. So for example, here's common mistakes. I want to block, let's say I want to block off treadmill for sale. I just do that. What I'm actually doing is I'm blocking off the word treadmill, the word for, and the word sale. Broad match across the board. If I want to block off, then I have to, this quote, then I have to do quote. If I want only this exact phrase, then I have to do brackets. Okay? Now in this case, I'm going after quotes. So anytime someone types in best treadmill for sale, the website address, or reviews, or this one, or you could even include other variations that make sense, but this is our branded search text ad. So we're only going after people that are searching for our brand. This is not, so this campaign, this text ad, usually will always convert the best out of anything else in the ad account. That's why I set it up immediately, because it ends up becoming the best return on your spend are people who are searching for your brand name, right? So it's the easiest low-hanging fruit to set up is this branded campaign. It also shows that you're a real business, and then it puts you more in control of the actual search results that pop up when people search for your actual brand, and you can set a much higher cost per click or CPC for this campaign. So go ahead and get out there, set up, let me get out of this one right here. I'm going to set this up in a minute, but I would go ahead and hit save, go through the whole process. Go ahead and set up all these campaigns here. Your high, medium, low, do your negative priority lists, set up your search text ad, and then you can, it'll save as a draft. And then make sure you can also, let me see if this is next on the list, reverse funnel, we have our brand search text ad, we have our retargeting and our shared budget. So retargeting, we're going to get into in a second. Negative keyword list we've already gone over. So let's just highlight the shared budget and then we'll get into the retargeting. So on the shared budget, what this allows us to do is link all of our campaigns together, meaning as far as our budget. Let me see. if this works in the new template. No, let me see. Okay, great. So we have tools and then budgets and spending and then shared budgets. So we're going to create a new shared budget amongst all the shopping campaigns. So high, medium, low. And then we're going to call this shared budget. So total, we're going to do a total budget of 15, I guess. I mean, I think it usually gives the option. Let's see. Shared budget, and then boom, yeah. So when you have, what this does is you can easily allocate how much you want to spend across all your shopping campaigns, rather than, if you want to dial it in and say I want 5 on my high, priority 5, and do it that way, that's fine. But what I found, I like to keep all my shopping campaigns together under one budget. And I found that on the back end it's just easier and more helpful. So I would do something like $25 a day if you can. Again, you don't have to spend that much if you don't want to. And it's not going to spend that much in the very beginning. It's going to work up to that number. So you need to optimize it as you go along. A daily budget in total for 3 campaigns plus your text ad, the branded search. I would say the minimum would be somewhere around $10, $15 a day. If you're at that $5 a day in total, you're going to get some traffic, but it's going to be really hard to generate enough traffic to sell something. You need, when you're up and running, you're going to get somewhere between 0.5 to 1.5% conversion rate as far as cold traffic to add to cart and actually drive sales to conversions. So you need to make sure that you're giving yourself enough opportunity to get traffic. So I would suggest you want to get, at least in the beginning as you're scaling up, a few hundred people a day. That would be the best place if you're in the very beginning. 200, 300 people a day, somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 cents to 14 to 15 cents a click, 30 cents a click, depending upon what quality they are. And that is, shared budget about $20 or so a day. It's not going to spend that in total. You'll have opportunities to scale it as you go up. But, if you have budget and you can do 100 a day, that's great. But you got to make sure that you're in here working on the ad account and managing your negative keywords in order to, see the fruits of that spend. This is not like Performance Max where you just put in the money and then it just runs, right? This is something where you have to be hands-on. And then also, eventually, we can hire someone to do this work for us. But we have to be experienced in it probably 3 to 4 months, roughly. I guess it could be less if you get a lot at the beginning, but I would give it some time. Even today, in my business, I still occasionally will get in here and make some adjustments. And for the first 2, 3, 4 years, I was really heavy in the ad account, practicing techniques and spending and reviewing things in order to scale up my store. So I make sure shared budget is good, and that's kind of the benefit of it. So set that up, and then let's nextly do retargeting. We might be able to do that now. We might have to do that later. Let me see if it's possible to set up now. 1 second. Yeah, so we have to do one more campaign, which is the retargeting. So I just did the same thing, the steps back. I just went ahead and did a new campaign without goals. Same thing we did 3 times for the high, medium, low priority campaigns, doing one more for retargeting. And this one we're going to set at the low priority. Same thing, Costway. And this one we're going to set somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 cents. So what this is we're going to do on the back end, we're going to set this up as a retargeting campaign. Again, let me put you on hold 1 second. I'm going to pause this while I find the how to find the settings in the new interface. 1 second. All right, and in order to add the appropriate retargeting ad, we first have to add our our data sources. So audience source, they call it. They change the wording of these things around. But either way, the audience sources. So click here. So you just go ahead and where we were, shared library, and then audience manager. It'll forward you over here, your data segments to your data sources. And then we're going to just go ahead and link everything that we can. So we're going to start with analytics. We already have that set up. So we're going to go ahead and on. We're going to link that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to, if we have a YouTube, we're going to link that. Search console, we definitely have. We're going to link that. Proceed. Set this up in phase 3. So that'll be linked. Okay, we got all 3 of those. YouTube if you have it. Oh, your Google business profile. And that's all. Okay, so we have that. We might need to do a Google tag. Let's see. Nice, we could do it. All right, so this is going to be a new audience segment. We're going to call it visitors minus customers. Visitors minus customers. Okay, and past 90 days is fine. Okay, pages and exclude. Let's see if it'll let us do it. Customer. Okay, we'll leave that here for now, but we have to add that in later. And wait, hold on. And maybe this is not the right place to do it. Let's see. Our ultimate goal is, there might be a better way to do this. Audiences, maybe it's under here. Oh, this makes more sense. Hold on a second. We'll call it visitors. Yeah, visitors minus. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find the right setting as they change this pretty frequently. Our goal here is to create an audience to add to our retargeting campaign that's comprised of the people who visited the site minus the people who actually purchased already. So that's our retargeting campaign. So once we get the actual audience set up, then we're going to add it to that retargeting campaign that we just set up. People who. Yeah, so you might need to. This might work here. That's strange. Maybe because it's GA4. Or maybe I have to go in there and approve it. Let's just see how we can. Didn't get connected. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to do that. Customer list, here we go. So we can do data source later. Let me see, customer. Just follow what I'm doing here, guys. All customers, purchasers. So we have a new customer list. So at least we can exclude, and then eventually we can just do people who visited. Here we go. We need to do data list in the audience manager. So you see how I'm clicking around, right? We gotta just sometimes set these things up because it's a new account. And you'll see our ultimate goal here is to just set up a list of people in the database that are here. Bam. So purchasers, we got customer lists is what we just made. Audience manager. Oh, because it pulled, now the data source refresh is connected now. So just connect your data sources and then it will just show. So here we have customer type, purchases. So it should allow us to do what we want now. Let's see. Exactly. Yep. Okay, perfect. So we're going to call this visitors minus customers. There we go. So we're going to have website visitors, so all users that visit the site. And, oh, that's not it either. Hold on. We're getting there. Maybe it's here. Because we want to exclude not website visitors. This is a thing which I'm interested in. Let me figure this out in the back end. I'll come right back. All right, it was under audiences. Very easy. So audiences, create audience. Then for the last time, we got it. Visitors minus customers. Our remarketing list is set up. So we're going to go ahead and hit this, your data. Then you can do all users for the site. Exclusions, then we'll click this, purchasers. So now we have a list of all people who visited the site minus the people who made a purchase. And we have an audience, visitors minus customers. Okay, so we're going to go back to our campaign. And you could mess with that later on. You can add additional stuff. But I'll show you the importance of that right now. We have our retargeting campaign. So we're going to show this to people. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go down to audiences. Audiences, keywords, and content. Click on audiences, edit audience segments on the campaign level. And we're going to target. Hopefully it'll show me what I want. Oh, it won't let me do that one yet. So we're just going to pick all users now. Ultimately, our goal is to remove. Yeah. Best case would be that it would have our new campaign there. It might be because it's just brand new, or it might be because it's a new account. But if you have an elder account or an account that's been open for a while, it's been longer, you'll have that feature there. But ultimately, what our goal is to determine the difference between these two categories. Observation is just to add this to other searches. We might use this later. For this particular retargeting campaign, we're going to use narrowing or targeting. So we're going to narrow down to just the people who visited the site before, not the end of the world if you're not able to get the visitors minus customers, which really, because, you know, let's say 1% of people buy, is it really that big of a deal if 1% of people see the ad again? Not really a big deal, right? But later we want to set that up. I think it will show if I refresh a few times, or it might be this customer list here due to eligibility issues, due to it's a new account. I think Google has some like can't do customer lists until you spent a certain amount of money or something. So anyway, you could just do people who visited the site, so that'll be fine, all users. You make sure you have this though. Definitely set this up. Because if you don't, the retargeting is just going to match the high priority campaign. It'll spend a whole bunch of money. So make sure you have it, set the audience up to where it's only, because now after adding this audience, this campaign will only show to people who have visited the site before. Hence retargeting, right? So now we have our high, medium, low priority campaigns, and we have our retargeting. We've done our negative keyword lists. And now let me get into a little bit about scaling. So we've set our original bids, and then once you have your ads running, what's going to happen is there's going to be 2 or 3 additional boxes here that are going to show the keywords which come up. All you want to do is every morning, I recommend doing this for the first 20 minutes or so, is reviewing the keywords that came in, and then making sure that the keywords that came in match the proper priority campaign. So for example, if you see unbranded search terms in your branded campaign, your medium priority, then you add those as a negative keyword and you add them to the medium and the low, if it's appropriate, keyword list. And every day I would look at the search terms which came in, not the ones that got impressions, just the ones that actually had spend. And I would manage those keywords and take off ones which are not appropriate. and then I would allow ones to remain which are appropriate as according to the high, medium, low priority structure and the negative keyword list. If you need further explanation, this would be a great chance to use one of your consulting calls to show you how to scale up the first 30 days. At some point, I'm going to add in here after this video and after this training for all of the ad accounts, a 30-day case study on this site as I scale it up and run the ads. So if you don't see that here, that means that it's currently being recorded. And if you do see it here, then you'll be able to scroll down and get a deeper concept of the negative keyword structure. Either way, I would definitely highly recommend when you start running your ads and you start driving traffic to your store, make sure you utilize one of your consulting calls so that we can go over your ad account, check the structure, overview some of the basic settings. As you can see, we went through quite a few different things here, and I want to guarantee that even one setting a little bit different or off, one checkbox could make a difference on how the overall campaign and how it's all structured. Great chance to use one of the consulting calls. And then also I can help you dial in the ads, maybe do a half hour and another half hour. We can split that 1 hour into 2 calls if it's just a review and then maybe a follow-up a week later to see how the ads are running. Really, really powerful stuff here. Google has access. I mean, everyone in the world knows Google. Use it. Use the reverse funnel. Stay in control of your bids. This is a basic high-level overview of how to set up your high, medium, low priority campaigns. On Facebook, just to highlight, which we're going to get into in a minute, we're only going to do retargeting in the beginning. So it's only going to be that we just set up here, those data sources, setting up that keyword list, making sure that we're only driving traffic to people who have been to the page before. That is the only step on Facebook. Later, we do what's called a lookalike audience, which allows us to target people which are similar to our customers. But we need, 60, 70, 80 customers before it can find people who are similar. You can start maybe 10, 20, but really at that point you start to get more dialed in, and it starts to be, generally speaking, good data in, good data out. So you have good quality customers in, you'll have more quality customers on the lookalike. That's Facebook. Bing is almost identical to Google, just a little bit of a different interface, but the exact same process. We set up our high, medium, low priority campaigns, we do our retargeting, we do our search ad campaign, and then we're ready to rock and roll. And then we optimize it daily by adding the keywords which come up that are not appropriate to what we want in that campaign, and we add them to the negative keyword list that is respectively connected to that campaign. So that is how you scale these up. That's how you scale these stores up. There's a few little optimizations here and there for each program. Ultimately, this is the high level overview. And as we're going, another little golden nugget, as you're scaling up these ad accounts and as you're driving more sales, more revenue, and you're optimizing, you also want to make sure that you are building up all of the negative keywords and maximizing those lists, and then also doing like some search campaigns related to your highest converting keywords. That'll be more advanced training. In the beginning, just to get the traffic up, you want to every morning do your negative keywords, and then the products that sold well, so if you have a product that sells, this is more advanced, if you have a product that sells, then you want to raise the bid. So if you're spending 8 cents per click and that product is starting to sell, 1 sale, 2 sales, raise it up to 12 cents a click, 13 cents a click, because it's going to prioritize you in the searches. And then also, as you scale up, you're going to notice different things. Let me just go over a high level overview. This is a new account, but let me just go over a bit about these columns. So these columns here are going to be different. Let me just explain these right here. Clicks is the amount of clicks that you get on the page. Impressions is going to be how often your ad is shown. CTR is click-through rate. This is how many people click your ads. Average CPC, this is going to be the average cost per click across the entire campaign. Cost is how much you spend. Conversion rate is your on-page conversion rate. Conversions is the total number of conversions, how many sales you had. And cost per conversion is how much you spent. It's right, just cost divided by conversions, right? How much you spent per conversion. What I would do is add a few more columns here. Let's just go ahead and down a few that I think are valuable. Conversion value divided by cost. So this is total amount of revenue, and this is going to be your ROAS. So the total amount of revenue divided by the total amount that's spent. All conversions, be careful of these all. This is a different metric than just conversions. You notice here it's conversion, so be careful with that. I wouldn't add those. And attribution, let's see if we can find search impression share somewhere in here. Search impression share. I think that's going to be the main ones. Yeah. Okay, cool. So those are the main columns that we want. So I added in search impression share, conversion value, and conversion value cost. Whenever people hear like say ROAS, that's going to be this number here, conversion value divided by cost. Conversion value is the total amount of revenue that was brought in, and search impression share, this is going to be what percentage of the total search volume for that keyword or for that product did you capture with your ads. So what I like to see is 100% search impression share or as close to it on the medium and low priority. On your high priority, I like to see upwards of 40 to 80% if possible on the search impression share. Now those, in order to get that high, you're gonna have to spend much more on your cost per click, but this is just something to strive for in the future over the course of a year as you scale up your ad account, getting towards 100% on medium and low priority and 80%, even honestly, 30% to 40% is quite good on the high priority. So that one you scale up a little more slow, but 80 to 90%, 100% on the medium and low is definitely what you want. Okay, so I would set up these columns here. You see your shared budget is now displayed here. Let me just check one other thing. If we have to do anything related to conversions, I think as far as conversion tracking, just give you 1 second here. Conversions, they have a new interface, so things are slightly different than they would normally be. Purchases, this shows inactive, that's fine. It's probably going to show that because the tag has just been added, and we haven't had any conversion on the site anyway, because the site we haven't drove traffic to it yet. So in order to this is the customer list. You have at least 1,000 people to the site before you can start doing that. But this conversion tracking, this purchases, this is called conversion goals. There you go. Conversion goals for purchases is set up, so we're good to go. As long as that's there, even if it shows inactive, it's fine. It's just because we haven't had any conversions on site yet. Cool. So that is all the campaign structure for your ad accounts. You can see all the different campaigns that we've set up. We have our high, medium, low priority, each with our shared budget. We set up the negative keyword list, which we're going to keep optimizing as traffic comes in day by day. We saw our retargeting campaign. What I would even do is probably go back to my shared budget, if I can remember where that was. Budgets here, shared budgets. And I'm going to go ahead and add that retargeting campaign right to that shared budget. One of the things that I do later is I like to remove that later. But right now in the beginning, I'll just go ahead and keep it in that same budget just in order to make things a little more copacetic. Cool. Okay, so we have all of our campaigns set up. You're going to have one text ad here, which is that brand campaign. I didn't finish doing it all the way. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and I don't even know where the draft's going. I got to see. But either way, these are the campaigns that we should have. After this, we're going to go ahead and jump right into Bing and then Facebook. But again, guys, sometimes I really believe that you could go ahead and get started with just this. Sometimes having Google and Bing can be too difficult to manage. This alone, based on how much you're spending, you're going to have a lot of search terms coming up. So like if you go here and you go to search keywords, every day, right now it doesn't show up because there's no search terms, but you're going to see lots of search terms every day. Or even if you come here to overview, there's going to be another box here, and then it's going to show all of your searches. And then you can go through and assign them negative or whatever you need to do as far as making sure they're in the right category. And when you do that, it's going to be, it could take upwards of, in the beginning it takes more time because you're going to have a lot of searches. You have to teach the algorithm, you got to teach Google what you want it to show for and what you don't want it to show for. And the way that you do this is by putting negatives. Say, hey, I don't want to show for this. And it'll keep showing you. You keep telling it, no, I don't want for this, I don't want for this, I don't want for this. And then whatever's left over, Google will keep showing you for, which should be branded or SKU level searches depending on the campaign. So we're putting them down the funnel. I've reworded and re-explained the same concept about 7 or 8 times. The goal here is to make sure that you clearly understand this structure. If you have questions on it, please let me know, because it will really be challenging for you to assign the keywords appropriately as you're scaling up your account if you don't understand comprehensively this reverse funnel as I've just explained it, as compared to the quality of the searches, whether they're generic, branded, or SKU level. So again, just one last wrap up and we'll finish this Google Ads training. High priority is going to be going after generic search. We're going to, on the negative keyword list, we're going to put all branded and SKU level things on the high priority negative keyword list to block out those searches from our high priority campaign. In our medium priority, we're going to target branded searches, people who are searching for branded products, that brand specifically. So we're going to add to our negative keyword list all SKU level or model number in our medium list. Therefore, it will push branded traffic, model like SKU level traffic, even further down into our low priority list, where we're going to target individuals who are typing the brand name and the model number into Google. And those people are going to hit our low priority campaign, and that negative keyword list is really not used. I don't even know why we added it. Sometimes you have erroneous searches that are not appropriate that show up there, so you actually use it, but there's nothing kind of specific that has to be there. And we also, as a final wrap up, we set up our all negative keyword list, which we add products or searches rather, which are just completely incorrect or not related or shouldn't be, our site should not be shown for any of the words in those searches or phrases. So that's the 9th and 10th time I think I've explained it. So I hope that it has sunken in. Go ahead and get the ads running. Once your data feeds are set up in the Merchant Center, as they should be, make sure you go ahead and get this set up. Your high, medium, low priority funnel with your retargeting and your search campaign. This alone will account for hundreds of visitors to your site every day, every week, every month, relative to how much you're willing to spend. If you're spending $20, $25 a day, you'll get more than likely, if you're spending at the low CPCs that I mentioned and you're optimizing your CPCs properly, you'll be able to generate 3-4 sales in your first week, as long as you're dialing in the keywords appropriately and focusing the hose where you want it. This would be a good way to wrap up the Google Ads. One last part. When you're running your ad account, it's somewhat like a hose, as I mentioned at the top of the call. So when you're pointing your ads, when you're directing the traffic, the way we direct the traffic or the way you would point the hose is via negative keywords, right? We're assigning, hey, don't look over here, look over here. Don't shoot the hose over here, shoot the hose over here. And we're doing that by saying don't look over here with our negative keywords based on what campaign they're in. So we can raise the bids or lower the bids. That's going to raise strong water or less water. So, then we can point the hose where we want it based on using negative keywords. So the ultimate goal is to get a razor fine jet of water hitting the exact target that we want. That's the goal. So therefore, we want it to be dialed in on the front part as far as the spend, make sure it's dialed in, only what's necessary is being spent. And then also dialed in as far as targeted with our negative keywords by showing what we don't want. Therefore, Google will only show what we do want. Okay, so that's maybe the 12th time I've explained the concept. So I've tried to just make it comprehensive for all type of learning styles, learning types can pick up on this. If it's still confusing, definitely add that to your question list for your next consult. Really, this is a powerful, powerful structure, a powerful, powerful tool. We're looking to have, at minimum, 4x ROAS, minimum. Really, what we'd like to be is around 10x ROAS. Anything over 10x ROAS as we're scaling, we're really in the sweet spot. So 4x minimum, 10x goal, anything over that in the sweet spot. How do we maintain those ROASs over time? Providing excellent customer service, making sure that we're handling orders appropriately, shipping out on time, having clear communication with our prospects. This is key. So it's not only the ad account which determines the results, it's also what we're doing with the ad account and how we're coupling that with our customer service and our fulfillment and our general brand values and how we're presenting ourselves. So as we're driving traffic, we're actually starting to interact with customers now. So let's make sure we put on our sales hat, we're selling products, and make sure that we're taking care of the customers who come in appropriately. This is where we're starting driving revenue. So let's make sure we maximize that on the other side as well. Once they've made the purchase, continue to wow them, especially with our bonuses. All right, rock and roll. Thank you so much for watching this training. We're going to do Facebook and then Bing, and then we're just about there. Let's get it. Talk soon.